So I started playing football from a very young age just because my best friend was a boy the same age, and we naturally just kind of, we'd all down the park with his dad kind of thing. Back when I started, there wasn't a lot of women's or girls football, sorry, shall we say, so I started off in a boys team, found a girls team probably about 11, 12ish, and then I naturally started as an outfielder, and also what happens is usually you're terrible, so you get shoved in goals, which was kind of my story. Always worked hard but technically terrible, so threw me in goals and I was kind of just an idiot, so jumping about, diving about at that age, it's quite unheard of as a young kind of people, nobody really wants to be a goalie, so that was just how I kind of started. Got picked up by the enemy, Celtic, very early on. I was about, joined them at under 13s, and yeah, just kind of went on from there. Made it to first team football very quickly and got picked up by the national youth team and stuff, where I met that dope ball Jenna.
Me and Megan have known each other for ages, since I think she was my first ever roommate at under 17 Scotland. So yeah, we've known each other for a long, long time. I hate saying this, but she's an absolute joy to work with. I love working with her. She can be so annoying sometimes though. I get a slating constantly from her, but we work so well, and as a parent, obviously with Telma as well, and I just love the wee goalkeeping union we've got with Flocks and Telma, me and Megan, and it's so enjoyable coming to training every single day, as much as she slates me every day for everything I do, but other than that, it's good. And yeah, we've been here a long time, and I've loved working with her.
On you and Megan, you obviously joined the club at similar times. What was it like sort of seeing the club from then, the start of your journey together? You're still here at Rangers now, what's it sort of been like looking back in that journey?
Yeah, it's mental to be honest. When we first joined, like obviously it was the first ever time they went professional, so we were the first professional women's team. And it was great when we first went in, but if you compare it to now, it's night and day. The way we've progressed, the way the club have backed us, but the professionalism around it now is night and day from when we first joined. And it just shows the progression from the club since then.
When I've heard that Jenna was coming, it almost put me off a wee bit, because I was like, well, no chance am I going to play now. But I'm so glad I took the chance and did come, because, and this is where you'll find out as well throughout your career, you'll find that you might go through different stages of, I'm coming in as a first choice, or I'm coming in as a second choice, or I'm coming in as this and that. And it's about how you can be able to like kind of manipulate that mindset of, as a goalkeeper, you always want to play, and that's hands down what I've always came here to do, and try my hardest to try and play. But I think over the years, I think my role's really changed in terms of like being more of a team player, shall we say, in the goalkeeping side of the department anyway. And it's been amazing to see the goalies that we've came with us along the journey as well, and how they've progressed. Yeah, she's been great to work with, and I think a big part of why I've stayed so long is because I love to train with the group that we've got here. We've got such a good goalkeeping community here, and good goalkeepers tend to come out of the club, so it's been great to progress, not only as a goalkeeper but as a person as well.
At the start, competing against each other, goalkeeping positions, always difficult to speak about others, I suppose, because you're competing for one spot, but what was it like sort of competing against each other?
Me and Megan's relationship goes past goalkeeping. Like, we know the position, we're old enough to know that it's selected by the manager, and we both go and train 100%, and work as hard as we can, and whoever played at the weekend, especially when there was just the two of us, it was just an acceptance, and it never ever affected our relationship as a friendship. And yeah, like there's never been any like negative competitiveness between us. It's always been so good to work with her, and hopefully she would say the same.
The club has probably been one of the best clubs I've worked under in terms of how much they try and support the player with what they kind of offer and what they're trying to offer. They're trying to create this environment where, you know, they do look at good humans as well as just the players, and I think that's quite rare. You know, it's really important the kind of person that comes into this club is a certain type of person to wear the badges. That's the kind of expectations that I've held at this club, as well as being obviously natural winners, which isn't, it's always hard to get that balance. I think since I've come in, the players that have come from the start and have came all the way through my time here, you can see naturally the ones that have stayed and who have done well at the club have fit that mould. And I think that's really nice to see, that there's still a real identity, whether it's men, females, males, youth. They try and really hold that identity throughout the whole thing, and I think as long as you buy into that, the club is so willing to support you in any way they can.
Won plenty of cups, won a league, which has been great. So yeah, it's been good, and hopefully in the future we'll win a lot more cups, a lot more leagues. But yeah, it's special winning anything you do at Rangers. It's an expectation, but it's also very special when you do it. So I've had some really, really good times, and long may that continue.
I mean, winning the league was unbelievable. Every single person was important in that role, and I think that's really rare. When you might not always be a starter, you know, so a squad number sometimes doesn't always feel like they deserve it, but I definitely felt like it was earned here, and that's because everyone makes you feel like an actual family here, you know, and how well they support you. I'm willing to try and bend over backwards to help them just as much as they're willing to help me. So again, I think the relationship just we've built over the years has allowed them to know that, you know, I'll do everything I can to help them out as much as they'll do everything they can to help me. So it's a really good relationship, and long may it continue, as long as my body will allow, as I'm getting old now. So.
Do you think there's any misconceptions about goalkeeping?
I think especially in the women's game, there's a lot of misconceptions, and people don't really see it for what it is. They'll compare it to the men's game a lot, especially men's goalkeepers. Like, there's a massive difference in technical ability and stuff like that, but I honestly don't think there is at all. Men's just play differently from female keepers, and that's just natural, but the goalkeeping position in women's football has become more respected every single year as it passes. And I think you watch the Euros, for example, and the standard goalkeeper was unbelievable this summer, I think. So I think people are really starting to see goalkeeping for what it is, and I think it's really positive.
So when you're playing a team sport, it's a very individual position, and it's quite a tough one in terms of mentality. I would say 80% of it's mentality, 20% probably your physical and your technical ability. That misconception that you always put the terrible one in goals and things like that, but there's a lot more to it. Especially mentally, I would say it's a lot harder than any other position where you can get away with making mistakes, you know, without being punished.
You spent some time on loan at Partick Thistle. What was that like?
Do you know what? It's probably the girls that I worked with at there were unbelievable, and it makes you really feel really appreciative of what you've got here, because they were just part-time. A lot of them worked 9-to-5 jobs or had jobs that were full-time, and you were coming straight off shift to come to training and train in the evening. You realise how lucky you've got at a full-time environment when you then have to go take a step back and go and play with people that aren't full-time. You know, we did really well in terms of like making top 6 twice, which for a team that isn't full-time was pretty remarkable, especially the second year, because again, it was like another investment from more clubs, you know, so we were up against 5 or 6 clubs that were like full-time or the best part of full-time. And you know, if you looked in the budgets between the two, we were just lucky we had a pitch that we could still train on sometimes, you know. So I think that was a really humbling experience, and it was credit to the girls that I worked with at the time, because they were all such a fantastic bunch, and you know, really body in the line kind of players, which I love that kind of style of football. And I think Brian Graham got the best out of that bunch for sure. And yeah, it was a really, really, like, probably one of my highlights in my career as well, just playing at that level again, taking a step back and going and enjoying my football again and getting a chance to play, which is always nice.
How would you encourage young footballers to get into goalkeeping?
Follow your dream. Like, if you want to become a goalkeeper, there's so many opportunities, especially in the women's game. Nowadays, you can go professional a lot easier than I could when I was younger, and I think, yeah, just work hard, enjoy it, and pursue the dream, because it can definitely happen.
I wish I was starting out my career now, because the opportunities now that are coming from women's football is frightening, and I just think when I look about the young team, I'm always so jealous of them, because I'm like, God, I'm just getting ready to hang my gloves up, and these are just starting their career, and the opportunities they've got. I think just always be humble, and like just remember that you don't get any without any hard work. Don't ever give up. I think the highs football gives you is way greater than the lows will ever get you, and you'll get out that low rut. It doesn't last forever. This is the life, right? You turn up every day, you get to train with such a good bunch of people. Like, that's the dream. I don't know anybody who wouldn't want that. So yeah, stick in so you don't actually have to get a real job, you know.